Channeling Erik, Hour of Enlightenment.
Oh boy, finally we made it this time, guys. I mean, Blog Talk messed up last time. People got kicked off the minute they got on. I couldn't get on. It was a mess. So anyway, they said the engineer said that they had a problem, and they've had problems too. And I said, "Get me, my money back for this month, or at least this week." No, they won't do it. Screw the balls. Anyway, but that's okay. It's worth the wait because Erik is going to help us with that survival guide we need for getting through the hard times. And Michelle Gray, you'll check out her information in the link below when this becomes a YouTube, but thehealing-art.com. I would just tell you. And so you can get in touch with her. Excuse me. All right. So, hi, Erik. I love you, baby.
Erik says, I love you too, Mama.
Erik, I finally got the courage to start watching some of the videos from iMemories from from the 80s to and when you were your birth and just all the great times you had. You were a little sweet kid. And I didn't want to do that right after you died. It took me until now to have the courage because it was just too painful. I Rooney loved it. It helped him. To me, no, can't do it.
Yeah. He says he was with you. My husband with you.
Yeah.
He's just saying that he sits right in your lap while you're watching, just so you know.
I used to make him sit in my lap even when he was a teenager. Come, sit down, Mama. Sit
he says that's his favorite place to be. Favorite place to be is on Mama's lap.
I'm gonna grab you in my lap when I get over there, and you're not gonna get away for eons. All right. Anyway, let's talk about something that is important to. These are very turbulent times, and one person told me that it would be good to have. We're going to start trying to move away from not so many celebrity interviews, guys, because then where's the channeling Erik part of it, right? We need Erik and his awesomeness and his curse words and his jokes and all that stuff. So anyway, we're going to get Matthew Perry in here pretty soon, but we thought of one person brought up a real interesting idea, and that would be to talk about light versus dark. What's that all about? So anyway, that's to come. Also, a real dear Norwegian friend of mine who's a client with Atlanta Scalar wrote up a whole bunch of questions about your favorite place, Erik, Norway, and the collective consciousness of Viking time, all that. Some really good questions there. So that's coming. Anyway, so Erik, tell us what should be in our toolkit to survive these very turbulent times.
So Erik just said he was excited, and he wants to just tell you too that he's already connected with Matthew Perry, and Matthew Perry is going to be working with Erik, is what he says. So he just wants to tell you that to begin with.
In what capacity?
Helping. He says really helping humanity get through difficult stages. He says that he is a teacher, and he's already looking forward to guiding.
I believe that. He wanted to be remembered for his nonprofit, helping people who have problems with sobriety, etc. So that makes all too much sense. And no wonder he had to go through what he went through in order to have the material to become a better teacher.
That'll be a good interview, Erik says.
Yeah.
It'll be a really good one. Okay, so Erik says the reason why we are talking about this, of course, because collectively we're going through a lot of challenges. We have been for some time. But he also says personally, so many people are experiencing a lot of changes. He says, and we're really focusing on the physical. He's saying people changing jobs, people moving. He says a lot of big life changes, and he's really pointing out big changes in families. He says as our collective changes, He says everything happens on the bigger scale, the smaller scale. And he says a lot of families are going through, whether it be kids leaving to go to college or moving. It's like families are changing into a different dynamic. He says, and some families are coming apart, relationships are coming apart. And he says that it's not that he says all things are negative per se, but let's just understand that change is challenging. Change brings up all kinds of things. And he says,
Yeah.
so really what he wants to speak about today is, he says, no matter what you are going through, whether your heart is connected to what's happening in the collective, or whether you're going through something very challenging in your own life, in your own community, he says, the number one thing to remember is acceptance that something is going on. He says, whatever your situation is, being able to be aware of it,
Yeah.
be conscious of it, and be in acceptance of it. He says that's the number one thing for everything, because he says, Mom, do you know how many, and I know I've done it myself too. And Erik says, Mom, he goes, you can understand this as well, how hard it is to accept. And he's just talking
Yeah.
about looking at his videos and pictures, and he
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
accepting
I know. I
that this
can't
has happened.
believe that beautiful boy. I just,
Yeah.
but still, and I looking at them, I realized what a good family we were. I was a good mother. I finally looked at that and said, wow, I was really a great mom.
He
And my
says
husband was
you're an
a great
excellent mom.
dad. He was so
Yes.
loving and unconditional. When you look at the fact that your kid died and stuff, it's kind of filtered your whole parenting. And after my
Yes.
horrible childhood of abuse, physical and emotional, my whole aim was to make sure my kids had a fairy tale childhood. And then
Yes.
shit hit the fan and it didn't happen that way. So you start to second guess you know, your ability as a mother, but watching those videos really helped.
Yes. And so he says, Mom, he goes, so he goes, doing this and going through this right now, he says, you're going into a new level of your healing.
Oh,
And he says, and so when we have awareness, and we might not want to accept something that maybe happened 20 years ago, maybe just now that we're having awareness to it, he says, like, hey guys, like, we're not saying this has to be something that you're currently going through. It might be something that has been triggered in you from a long
yeah.
time ago. He goes,
Yeah.
whatever the challenge is. And Erik goes, and please hear this. He says, whatever your challenge is, whatever it is that you're going through, do not compare it to anyone else. Do not look at it and say, well, you know, this is so much worse and I don't have any right to feel this way. He says, no, no, no. All
No.
feelings are valid.
Yeah.
He says, your feelings are valid no matter what the circumstance is. How you feel right now in this moment about whatever is going on is valid because they're your feelings.
Yeah.
And so he says, you have to start somewhere. Now, he's going to back it up a little bit because he says there's a little bit of he's saying, do we really have a survival guide with us? And he says, well, of course we do. He goes, everybody's got me. I'm your survival guide. He goes,
That's
you
true.
have me.
But you also
And he
have
says,
your
and
heart, your intuition.
yes, yes. He says, that's exactly right. He says, you come here built. You are built to handle anything. He goes, have you ever heard of the saying that many people will say, God will only give you what you can handle?
Yeah.
He says, what does that really mean? He says, well, did you know that your blueprint, he says, your consciousness came here already equipped with the ability to overcome anything that you come into challenge with. He says, you have everything that you need. He says, built into your system. And he goes, and that includes your connection to source, your guides. He says, you have everything. He says, the challenging part is the being able to walk through it. And he says, and trusting, because everything does come down to the belief. Do you believe that you have everything within you to walk through any challenge? Do you trust that that is true? And he says, so let's back it up a little bit and talk about How about before a challenge arises, what are you doing each day to help? Oh, didn't shut that off. Okay, sorry, Erik. He says, what are you doing each day to help your connection? Because he goes, here's the thing. He says, a lot of times people will go into prayer when something really hard is happening, when there's a sense of desperation. He
Yeah.
says, now that is often also an awakening for many people as well, these difficult circumstances. But he says, when you're in prayer and say you're not one that normally prayers, or you're not calling out to anyone, and you start to call out and you say, well, they're not going to hear me, it's not going to make a difference anyway. He says, well, the reason why a lot of people don't feel they're hearing anything, is he says, is when you are not priming the pump, meaning, he goes, working on your relationship with the non-physical part of you, working on relationship with source. He says, so what's happening is really the vibrational frequency of that connection is real small, like a teeny tiny little like needle. He's showing me like the needle of the thread, the tiny little hole. And he goes, so it's not that we're not there, it's not that we can't hear you, but he says you may not in that moment or through that period really feel the support. So he says, so every day you want to work on your connection. And
Wow.
he says prayer is an excellent way to start connecting. He goes, if you feel right now, well, I don't know my guides, I don't really know if they hear me, I don't really
I
know
hear
what,
you.
he
I hear
says,
you.
yes, we do hear you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we do hear you. He says, every prayer is a vibration. So he says, think of it as when you pray, when you do anything, when you practice something. So he goes, do you pray on your knees? You can if you want. Can you pray by writing a letter? Of course you can.
Yeah.
He says, can you pray while you're driving along in your head and have a conversation? Yes, yes, and yes. He says, you can do this in so
There are
many
no
different ways.
rules. There's no
There
rules for
really
prayer.
are no rules. He goes, the rules are the ones that you decide for you. What do you believe in? So he says, but the point is here is connect. Make the conscious choice to connect, because when you do that over and over again, he says a momentum builds. And so suddenly that tiny little pinhole starts to get wider and wider and wider. So when things happen, he goes, so meaning that let's say your day to day, things are going along just fine. And then something comes out of the blue and kind of, he says, gobsmacks you. And he says, you weren't expecting it. That connection with spirit, he says, it is already open. He says it's easily accessed. You can feel it. And he goes, so this is just the difference in your experience. So he goes, for all of you that are wanting to expand your connection, he says, have that relationship, have that prayer, have those words with your guides each and every day.
Wow. Every day. Wow. That's a lot. So why does things start getting difficult? I mean, we've had periods in history where things were awful, Middle Ages, Dark Ages, all this stuff. But why? I think it maybe started with the pandemic, and people like didn't have a job. They opened up new businesses and whatever, work from home, and just things sort of just like it's like throwing a deck of cards in the air, and just 51 pickup game started
Well,
happening. What is it?
he said that, so he goes, for thousands of years, so we've gone through all of these cycles where he says our consciousness has been evolving. So the evolution of our collective, of our, he says, our experience here on earth, it evolves. So he says it's gone through these cycles before, but he says this one is a big one. And he says, and it's happening over, he's actually saying a span of 50 years is where a major amount of this change is taking place.
Starting
Says,
50 years ago, or starting like with the pandemic and 50 years forward?
he actually says it started before that. So
Okay.
he's taking me back around 2009 to 2012 was where there's more
The year you
intensity.
died, great.
So
That
he's
year.
just
I
saying
will
that,
never watch a Netflix film or a Prime Video that was done in 2009 for obvious reasons. But anyway, I just can't. It's weird.
well, yes.
So
So he says that was all a catalyst to a lot of what we're seeing right now, a lot of what we're experiencing. But he says to shift a vibration. Now he says this particular shift in consciousness is the biggest jump in vibration.
Yeah.
So he says, when you look at the other cycles that we've gone through with the dark ages, he's calling it like a roll. So there was an elevation in vibration. So there's growth in consciousness, but it was like a slow roll because he says the foundation, like we've explained before, is he says is the age of Pisces. So everything was within that age, within that
Yeah.
foundational vibration. But because we have shifted that completely into what we all understand as a divine feminine energy, the age of Aquarius, and he says the golden
Unity
age, there's a lot of,
consciousness, unity
yes,
consciousness,
unity
contract
consciousness.
consciousness. Yeah.
He says there's a lot of different names that we're describing basically the same thing. And so he says this one is a jump in vibration. So it's like going from no matter where anybody is at, because there's a collective vibration. And then he says, then there's the vibration of each of us individually. And so he says, no matter where we are vibrationally, we are all taking a jump. Well, he says, remember this, and many might understand this when looking at energy with manifesting. He says, if you are, let's say, what you're manifesting, so the consciousness of the earth that we all want is up here. And he says, and we're over here. He says, well, when we make a big jump, he goes, anything that's in between that doesn't fit has to collapse.
Mm.
It has to go down. So he says, we're seeing a lot of collapse. And he says, and we can see it in so many different areas in the world. Now he goes, everything that's happening out here has actually come from within here.
Oh, yeah.
So he says, as a collective, so when we see things that groups are involved in that affects a large amount,
Yeah.
including the things that are affecting your own personal life. So he says there's a lot more help that we can access. So he says when he's talking about going into your personal prayer or going into your connection with your guides, he says there this time right now is actually easier to connect with guides and say what it was
Huh.
50 years ago. He says
Interesting.
because some people might call it the veil is not as thick. He goes, it's a
Oh.
thinner veil. He says, but it's an expanded vibration. And he
Oh.
says, and so there's more access. There's less in between. He says, so the dimensional space between this world and this world is not as much of a difference as what it used to be.
Oh,
And he
interesting.
says, and that's what we're headed towards as well. But
Good.
he says, but for a survival guide to what you're going through, guys, he goes, here are some of the things that we in spirit recommend. And he says, so awareness, but he says also checking in with yourself. What do you need? What do you need emotionally? What do you need physically? What do you need spiritually? He says good food, good rest. He goes the
Yeah.
staples, the basics, because it's
Right.
often the basics that go out the window when we
Absolutely.
have a lot of
Can't live on
stress.
on Cheetos 24/7, man.
He goes, can't live on
I,
can't
I
live
was
on Cheetos, can't live on
I was
coffee all day
surprised.
long.
I know. I know.
Yeah. Um, he's also saying breathing
Breath
fresh
work.
air.
Yeah. Oh,
He
okay.
says yes, breath work. He says you have no idea how powerful the breath is. And he says breathing, learning how to properly breathe. And
Yeah.
he says you'd be surprised how many of us don't really know how to properly
I
breathe.
know. It's crazy. Sometimes I think, oh, I forgot to breathe.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
He says, he goes, watch the next time all of you are going through something. And he says, and see if you can pay attention and observe your breath, because you'll notice even when you're listening to someone else's story and it might have some tension to it, he goes, watch your breath and watch how it stops and you hold it
Wow.
in. And he says, you'll really see how your body reacts. So getting to know how your body reacts, that's another thing. He says, can you anticipate what you will need? Because maybe for you it's you need to have somebody that you can emotionally reach out to. You can have somebody that you can contact that can help you physically. He says don't be afraid to ask for help. And he says, and if you don't have someone close to you that you can help, he goes, maybe there's a neighbor, maybe there's somebody in the community that you can call. He says, reach out and be okay with asking for help if you need it, and be okay with receiving it. Because a lot of people don't want to ask for help, especially
why
when they
is
see
that?
so many other.
It's like my husband will not ask for directions. No way. What is it about us, some of us, that I mean, I ask everybody, hey, where's the whatever? I guess I could walk through Walmart and really find the department, but no, I just want to ask the first Walmart person I see, and where is the ladies' lingerie?
Well,
But
he says it depends on the situation. He says
yeah,
Papa likes to figure it out. He says Papa likes to figure
he
it out
does.
himself.
He does. He does.
Because he's saying it to me, it's like a little adventure in his
That's
own
true.
mind. Yeah. So he
Yeah.
says Papa likes to do that for himself, but he says, why do people not? Well, some people are saying like, well, I don't really want to bother them, or I should know how to do this myself.
Yeah.
He says we're always the hardest on ourselves first. So we'll look
Yeah.
at it and say, oh, well, I should know where to go. I shouldn't be bothering this person that's
Yeah.
working here. And he goes, no, he goes, be okay with asking people. He goes,
Yeah, actually,
usually
people
what
like
we
it.
think.
People want to feel needed,
Yes.
you know? So ask
Yes.
for help.
Yes.
And that includes your spirit guides.
Yes.
And Erik, etc.
Yes.
So, your
And
team.
that's exactly where he was going next. Is he says, don't forget your non-physical friends and family.
Yeah.
Don't forget. He says, and you think, what kinds of things can I ask for? He goes, well, maybe you need a little more time in the day. And I'll tell you, this has been one of the best things Erik ever taught me, is asking for more time in the day. And it's not, it's like, he said it's a two-way thing. Yes, he's just having me explain this. It is a two-way thing, meaning that I need to put my effort into my priorities, really look at what's important, go through that myself, and then ask them to step in and help. So, is there something that I'm missing, especially with emails? Because I'll miss emails all the time. So Erik will pop up emails.
Oh, good.
Like one's just out of the blue, and I know that I'm like, thank you for doing that, or I would have missed that.
Yes.
Yes. So there's little things that they can do. He says finding you a parking spot. He goes, nothing is too big, nothing is too small. He
That
goes,
is cool.
Ask. Yes.
Well, one time, this one lady went to the channeling Erik, one of the channeling Erik events that we had, or one of the mediums had at our house, and she went to Erik's grave before she went to the airport. Then she drove to the airport. She was standing in line, and she said, Erik, just change my ticket to first class, please. It's like, and she was like 24B, and she was looking at her ticket, and it changed right in front of her eyes to 2A or something like that. She couldn't believe it.
Yes.
That's never worked for me, Erik.
No. And Erik says it's got to be the right temperature. That's what he always says with that kind of stuff, because he says there's so many different factors energetically as to why those things can happen.
I don't mind cow class, whatever.
But it's pretty amazing. And Erik says, and that's the thing. He goes, why not you? He goes, miracles happen all the time.
Yeah.
Big, small, and in between. He says, why not you? So ask.
Yeah. You're worth it. You're a whole part of God. You're a whole part of our creators. Of course you deserve it. Just as much as the next person does.
And he says, and when you know that, when you believe that, that's when the magic really starts to happen.
Exactly. Just say, really, I am whole and part of God. I am whole and part of God. I am divine and vastly so. I mean, just keep telling yourself that. Fake it till you make it, man.
Yes. Erik just showed me like ripping off his shirt with a Superman symbol.
Oh,
like, I'm amazing. That's what you all are, he says.
Yeah.
You all are amazing.
Yeah, of course you are.
The other thing is, he says, pour positivity into yourself as much as possible. He says, keep in mind that what you are absorbing, if you're looking at what you're eating, if you're looking at the quality of your sleep, he goes, remember, you're absorbing all kinds of information all over the place. So he says, be in control of what you're absorbing. He goes, be your own best friend and say, oh, no, let's do something a little more positive. Or he says, maybe we'll shut this TV off for a little bit.
Yeah, apocalypse movies. I can't do.
No, and that's
and no news. Oh my God, the news is terrible anyway. So
no,
I guess
my parents live next door. They tell me what I need to know.
Yeah, good.
I count on. Yeah. what else were you saying, Erik? Yeah, positivity. Oh, he also says, and he says, Mom, this is something that you do. And he says, this is a great one, and this is helping other people. He says, going in and get yourself in to volunteer or be of service in some way. When
Yeah.
you're going through something and you're able to be of service to someone else, he says, it's a great thing for your heart. It
It
really
is.
helps you work
Yeah.
through a
And
lot
it's
of
a good way to
difficulty.
model that sort of thing with your kids and grandkids.
Yes, yes. It's an excellent thing to model. And he also says, um, he goes, watch somebody that inspires you. Like he says, Mom, you inspire a lot of people.
Oh,
And he says it's you get up every day and you keep going. And look at all you've done and all that you've created. And he says it's a very inspirational and it helps other people that are also, and he says many other parents that have lost children have looked to you for
oh,
inspiration to help them get through their journey and
yeah.
to help them get through grief. So he says, just remember, he says, your story is there. And he's saying this to all of you. The story of what you're going through will be a map of inspiration for somebody else.
I hope so.
Yeah. And he
That
says
way,
it
your
will be.
death won't be such a tragic waste. It's,
Yeah.
it ends up being for good in some way.
Yes. Yes. And that's the other thing too, is Erik says, hard things are hard. They don't feel good. He says they are challenging, and
Yeah.
we're not trying to take away from any of that because that's an experience in itself. But he
Right.
says, guys, there's polarity to everything. And if you choose to see the good, if you choose to focus on the good, it doesn't mean you're not acknowledging all the hurt. It doesn't mean that you don't
That's true.
acknowledge that. But
Yeah.
he says, when you choose to focus on the good outcome, when you choose to savor all of the positive that comes from a difficult situation, he says you will be so much better off. Because when your
Oh,
vibration is in a place of expansion, he says, then there's so much more that can be opened up for you, so much more opportunity to experience more of that.
shoot. That's awesome. All right, you ready to take colors?
He says, ready as ever.
All right. So you guys that do the white hand up, that puts you in front of other people, and I can't do that. So I'm gonna just go by hold time. Okay. So don't even do the hand raising thing. It just, just it's not gonna work because all right, so I'm just telling you, there's warning, 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 abort, abort, abort. All right, the one that's been holding the longest is the 412 area code. 412 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi, Elisa. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Hi, Lori. I
Hi.
can tell your voice and your area code.
Hi. Yes, I wanted to just say real quick that to me, you are a beacon of hope, and you've helped me so much.
Well, you deserve it, Lori. You deserve it. And Jacob too.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
It's
You know
been
you
a
do.
year and a half, and I'm still so sad that it's hard to keep going. And I also can't look at videos from when he was little.
Yeah.
But so what I wanted to ask, it's been a while since I've had a message from him, and I haven't been getting as many signs. And so I'm wondering, is he still with me? Does he have a message for me? And his dad wants to know if he's watching the Steeler games, because they always did that together.
Well, Presto, Pennsylvania. Yeah. So what's going on, Jacob?
Right.
Jacob.
Jacob's, hi, Mom. And he was talking the whole time you're talking, Lori. And he's like, love you, Mom, love you, Mom. When you said about the Steelers game, he's like,
so much.
Yes, 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 yes. Like he's saying,
Oh.
go, go, go. Yes. He says that yes, he has been with you. And he said, Mom, he says, even when you aren't sure that I'm there, even when you feel that I'm not there, he says, I am always just a thought away.
Well, why is she not picking up on as many signs?
He says it's a combination of where his focus is, and also he says where Mom's focus has been. He says he's actually learning. he's
Oh.
showing stacks of books and learning.
To me, for me,
No,
for him,
he's
because
Jacob is
He's
saying
learning.
he is
told
learning.
me to
Are
read.
you
Oh,
you doing something, Lori, too? Have you started something new?
He told me to, I know we're limited time. He told me it's my purpose to help other grieving parents and for now to read a lot. So I've been reading a lot, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. But, I just, I'm trying. I don't know what to do. So,
Well,
but
I'll tell you this quickly, because what he's saying is he's preparing for his role with you and with others.
that's good.
And so he's showing me that he's doing his own studying. And this is coming together
Okay.
with you. And
Oh,
he
that's
says
nice.
writing our story.
Oh,
So something
that's
just to
so
tell you, write some thoughts down, Lori. If you're not journaling already, write some thoughts down just as they come to you.
Yeah. Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get started that. He loves you very much.
Please tell Jacob I love him so much.
Oh, he
and I
knows.
miss him.
He
Yes,
knows.
he does.
I know.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you,
Lori.
Thanks, Lori.
All right.
What a very special connection between the two and the three, actually. All right, 817 area code is the one who's been waiting the second longest. Ooh, let me click twice, I guess. 817 area code. Hi there.
Hi, this is Ashley. I have a quick question for my daughter Sabrina. It seems that her company got bought out and she might be losing her job. And I would like to know if there's a message for anything, any future job advice, guidance. Thank you.
Where is she?
She is in Texas.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Sabrina.
What's your daughter's first name?
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Yeah, I know this family. They're lovely.
Thank you.
So Erik is showing that there is going to be a change for her. And actually, so not leaving the company right away, but there's going to be her leaving the company, or it's like she's changing her job.
Well, she's going to leave first.
Yeah. She's going to have an offer. What Erik says is, don't be afraid to start looking in other places right now. It's not going to happen right away, but whatever
geographical or the type of job.
It's not
Okay.
geographical.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it's far away in distance or anything. But what he says is that she's coming upon like completion with this company. Like it's ending its cycle. Like she's done what she needs to do in this company. So she's going to move elsewhere. And he says she's going to do something different than what she's been doing. So it's a different type of work.
She loves marketing. She's very talented in decorating and marketing. And I was thinking maybe like a planning person for events, but I don't know.
This is more, he says this is to get her an opportunity to be in alignment with what she would like to do, because she's not
good. So it's all good
right now. Oh, yes.
Good.
Yes.
This is going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, girl.
Okay.
We're rooting for Stacy. I mean, for Sabrina.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I love this family. All right. I love all my families. 907 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi. How you doing? Thank you for taking my call.
Well, thank you for calling. And by the way, you guys who are holding your hands, I still know what your hold time is. So I will get to you, hopefully. Yeah. So there we go.
So hi.
Hi. Sorry.
It's okay. This is Tara from Alaska, and I was just wondering about my current position that I'm at. I'm a cultural peer support specialist, and I was just wondering if I should be looking elsewhere or to stay with the company, or to move over to a different department, or stay where I'm at.
Are you in Sitka?
No, I'm in Oakland.
Okay. Just wondering. Okay, so what do you think, Erik?
So what Erik is saying to me right away is, he says, stay where you're at right now. Stay where you're at. because he's showing that there's going to be an opportunity for you to grow from this position that you're at right now. And it is within the same company, but he says just stay where you are right now. Do you know if they like, do they, okay, I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. He's showing me like an opportunity, like a posting within your company. So it's changing, not
Within the company.
necessarily, yeah, but it still has a tone of what you're already doing. But there's like he says more responsibility. Like
So moving up within the same company?
There's almost like a feeling of a I don't want to use the word supervisor because it doesn't feel right, but Erik is, that's what he's showing me, is like leading a group. So there's a slight difference in what you're doing right now. More of a manager type position.
Cool.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So look for those postings. And Erik, help her out.
All right.
Move her to the right place.
He's winking.
Yeah, big flirt. Big flirt.
Yeah. He's already there.
And just real quick, we got a new puppy, a little new miniature pinscher chihuahua, and it's just so amazing. And I just, as if Trader was saying, it was time to have a puppy, and he was born in September, and we just got him the other day. It's just amazing to have a little one of that.
Oh, sweet.
That is wonderful. That is
awesome. What's his or her name?
We haven't really decided yet. We're thinking of Rocky.
I love it. Well, give Rocky a big kiss for me. I love animals so much, especially dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Erik does too.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Okay. 777 area code. Hi there. How you doing? Hey there. Say that again.
Hello.
Hi. Who are we talking to?
Hello. Did you say 775 area code?
Yes, that's you.
Oh, hi. It's me. This is Denise from Reno.
Hey.
How are you all doing?
Good. How are you doing?
How are you?
Okay, we're our mom passed away a year ago. We finally just sold him a home, and I'm back in Reno. We're getting ready to move, but we're signed a kind of a long lease, and it's a little bit on the expensive side. I'd like to know if there's any anything for us to know in the very near future, and if we thought we did the right thing, and where we're going next. Anything that you can help with any of that. Hello?
So Erik, what do you think?
I'm calling in. No, sorry to be.
No, you're good.
And what Erik is showing, there's a lot of different directions that he's going. So I'm just asking him to select one for us. Okay. What he wants to say is the decisions that you've made and where you are right now are fine. But he says, be very careful over this next while with finances, or he says, like jumping into something. He says, set a plan. And
Are
he
you
says,
on speakerphone, Denise? Because there's so much.
I'm take off from no trouble hearing you. Okay, that's better.
Okay, good. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. What Erik is saying is not to let, because there may be something or some things that pop up that are, could make you feel like you need to make a decision right away, because what he's saying is don't be impulsive. Be careful. And he's showing me with finances, don't be impulsive. He says, like have some boundaries around your finances and take your time. Don't feel like you need to rush, because anything or anyone that is putting any rush or any push behind you may not have the right intentions.
No.
So
God.
he's just saying just to take your time. Yeah.
Okay. So just be wary.
Okay.
Yep.
Erik, you can help her, right?
Always, he
Okay.
hears her. He hears her when she talks.
Well, you're gonna hear when it's made into a YouTube, you can listen a lot better. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Denise.
All right.
Yeah, so y'all, this is always going to be on YouTube later. So, all right, got somebody who has been holding a long time. We're going in order of hold time. 732 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi. Oh, I love you guys so much. And what a great topic and what great callers. And
I
love it all.
know. I love the callers.
This is Melissa from Tom's River.
Oh, hi,
Hi.
Melissa.
Hi. I love you guys.
We love you too.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving too, everyone. Yes, we have so much to be thankful. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we really do.
I do have so much to be thankful for, and I just feel so happy most of the time. My husband is so trying.
Oh,
And even with scalar work, he really knows how to push my buttons, but things are getting so much better. I'm gonna just leave it open
Awesome.
to hear
What you need to hear?
to hear Erik.
Yeah, Eric, what do you got to say to her? Melissa from Tom's River.
Is she just looking for anything from Erik?
Yeah. What does she need to hear right now?
Erik says you need to take a vacation.
I'll go with you, Melissa.
He's just saying, he says it's time to take a little adventure. He says if you can plan something or start thinking about planning something to do with your husband, he says you will be able to take an opportunity to take a deserved break, is what he's saying. So he says start thinking about taking a vacation.
Are we talking about a vacation or a staycation? Or maybe even just staying in a hotel in the same town? Or what are you thinking, Erik?
He says getting out of the normal. So if that means staying in a hotel or going for a drive away, he says something that the two of you can do together, because he says that there is a lot of healing that's taking place in your household.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know what changes you've had recently, Melissa, but he's showing like a lot that you've put into yourself in the last little while. So he's just saying that right now is like a time to celebrate where you're at and start planning where you're headed. And he's saying that there's changes coming for your husband as well. Okay. He just said he's talking about his spiritual path or changes that you don't anticipate. But he says taking some time together and doing something together, some little break, is going to take a little lift off of the everyday that the two of you have right now. But he just says a break is deserved.
Nice.
You need a break.
Send a postcard, girl.
And is that without my son? We should make a point to do it without my son?
Oh, good question.
No, Erik says bring your son.
All right, good.
It's just getting out of getting out of the norm.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to go with it. It's what Erik is saying is just get out of the norm, break up the norm.
That'd be good for your son too.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for calling.
Love you. Thank you.
We love you too. That is one happy girl. I love that. Okay, 561 area code.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Thank you. Good. Thank you for holding the space for us. This is wonderful.
Oh, we love you. We love you all.
I wanted to ask, my mom passed away in July, and she left a hot mess with all her children.
Oh.
So
What do you mean?
Yeah, she was very wealthy, and she left all her money to just one child.
Oh my God. Oh, I've been through that nightmare.
Yeah, I know you've been through it.
Wait, was she demented? Was she cognitively impaired?
Yeah, he maneuvered her to sign everything over to him.
God.
Yeah. And he was deployed up in Afghanistan, and he's in the military. And us children that were here caring for her, you know, he ditched us all. But
Wait,
I just wanted to get a message.
was she mentally sound?
She had dementia at the end. Yes.
Oh my God! Wait, did she sign under duress when she was demented?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you could you have a case.
No, I tried. They said no.
Why did you sign? Did you sign something to take a certain amount to not contest the will? Because that sometimes happens.
Yeah, and he made her a non-contested will, and he had power of attorney and everything.
I'm sure there's a really. Oh God, what a bastard!
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you want to know?
Don't care about that. We want to know how she feels about what she did.
Ooh. What's her first name?
Maddie.
Maddie. My father was very upset, and my mother especially, with what he had done. Yeah. So yeah.
Did she have problems breathing before she passed?
Yeah.
There's a lot of energy in the lung air. That's how they validate themselves with me, just so we know we have the right one.
Right person, yeah.
Okay. What she's saying, and she's saying this from she's making a point of saying this from her spirit, because her understanding is very different than what her physical understanding was.
Yeah.
She's first of all saying that she takes responsibility for signing it, because even though there was some issues with her mind, there's something about this particular brother and her. I'm sure there's a lot of history there, or things that you could say, but she's just saying that the relationship between the two of them, she calls it codependent.
Oh God.
Emotionally codependent. She's saying that he convinced her, and she's saying that like sound reasons, like reasons that she thought would be sound. But what she wants to say is that this was something that was part of the soul contract. She's saying this from the spiritual perspective, that this is actually, there is 2 other lifetimes that are connected, Erik is saying, into this particular lifetime that has to do with the relationships. And is there 5 of you in your family?
Well, there was 4 children. She had 4 children.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because showing me 5. Okay. So there's 5 of you, so including your mother.
Child.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
5 children. Yeah.
Okay. So she's just showing me some flashes of it's all relationship. It has to do with the growth of relationships and letting go. That is the spiritual, like of the whole thing, is being able to let go and to forgive, because what she is saying is what has been carried through lifetimes is resentment. And so she's saying that she takes responsibility for her part, but she also wants to say to you, she takes responsibility for other things in the relationship. Like she's saying with the other kids as well, because she's showing me not always being on the same side for everybody.
Oh.
So she's got responsibility. Yeah. She says like she's got things to bring forward and apologize for. And she would like to do that. She would like to say that to you right now. She says that forgiving is not about forgiving the actions, but not being willing to hold on to the anger.
Yeah.
And something she's saying about your brother, he's got his own, she's saying there's some physical stuff there, but there's something that's not okay with his mind as well. So she's just pointing out, I don't know what health your brother's in. She's not exactly saying it that way, but she's just saying like there's something going on with the mind like something not right in the mind.
Well, he's a narcissist.
Yeah, I mean that's a mental illness for sure. Too bad.
Yeah, he's in the military. He's very high ranking in the military. But
You know,
he's
I think it
exhausting.
would be super healing for you and your siblings, maybe not him, to have a full session with Michelle or someone else because she's probably booked up a lot. But I think that would really be healing for you guys, right? So consider that.
There's a lot of pain is what I can feel. There's a lot of pain.
Yeah, there
And
needs to be some healing.
Oh
the
yeah.
biggest thing is your
Yeah,
mom
none-
is
none
taking a
of
lot
her
of
children
responsibility.
went to her
Yeah.
funeral or her services.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would. It's
Yeah.
awful.
She
All right.
understands that. She understands.
Yeah.
She can see exactly why. Yeah.
It's terrible. I know the feeling. I flushed my father's ashes down the toilet, and I'll tell you what, that shit goes everywhere. I was tasting it in my mouth. It was so gross. I had to wipe down the walls and stuff. I was trying to be careful, but I hated him so much because of what he did and what he's done to us as little children, beating and broken bones and stuff. That was my healing.
Oh God.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys. Love you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Love you.
Love you. Yeah, ashes don't taste too good. I'm losing followers. I can feel it. No, I'm kidding. All right, here we go. 858 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to get on. Hi.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh. I just want to say I'm so thankful for you and Michelle and Eric every single day.
Oh,
I'm so thankful for you. Like,
we're
I'm
thankful
so
for you.
happy to be alive to be part of this. Yeah. I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
So lately I've been seeing the number 23 every time I look at the clock. There's always 23 minutes. I just want to know what that means.
Look that up. Numbers have energy.
Okay, so the first thing that Eric says is that's a signature of one of your guides.
Okay.
And what's being said to you is about an upgrade, a change. Eric says are you a healer? Do you work as
I would say, yeah, I would say so.
Okay, because it is all about your healing abilities and about raising consciousness. He says divine consciousness. Like it's an upgrade in consciousness. And I'll tell you, the guides that are connected to the number 23 are a group, and Eric says they're ETs and they're Syrian.
Whoa. Because I'm looking up here, angel number 23, transformation through helping others. Seeing the angel number 23 can mean that you need to spread love and kindness and help others if you want to step forward on your, and I don't, it goes ... Well, I'm not going to open up the page, but
you're
cool.
gonna, now what Eric says is armed with this information, he says, acknowledge when you see that number 23, because you're going to see it pop up again. And he says, acknowledge that and say, okay, I hear you. I know that you're here. What do I need to do to step up in my next phase of my journey? And he says, and you will start to see examples and signs of what you need to do next.
Very cool.
They're very close to you. Yeah.
You're special, girl.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Oh, no, you guys are special.
We need more people like you.
Oh my God.
All right, go out there and heal the world, girl.
With your help. Oh my God. I'm being a fangirl right now. I'm like the biggest fan.
Oh,
awesome.
You obviously don't know my flaws, my quirks and flaws, girls. Let me put you in touch with my kids and my husband and my grandkids for that matter. They will share stories that will make you think, well, I don't know. She's I don't know about her. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Sort of. All right. Go out there and heal the world, sweetie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we're almost at the point where we're going to be able to take one of the holding uppers. So first we got the 630 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi there.
Hi. What's that?
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
Say hi, Eric. Hi, Michelle. Hi,
Hello.
Lisa. I'm
Hi.
super grateful and thankful for being on the call, and I'm just so grateful for Erik and for you, Elisa.
Thank you.
For the mother that you are. And, you know, if you weren't the mother that you are, you would have never followed him into this journey. So you just keep mothering him, and you're mothering the rest of us.
I'm smothering him. Are you kidding me? I'll smother y'all too.
Oh my God.
What
You're so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Well, my question is in regards to my little animal companion. I have a dog. His name is Fritz, and I rescued him about 9 months ago. He's going through a little scarcity type thing where he seems like he's guarding or getting like agitated. And I know I'm doing a lot of work, and I don't know if some of that is like energy around here or like past life stuff, but I don't know if you can kind of tap in to see
what's going on with Fritz. What kind of dog is he? What kind of dog is he?
I think he's like a little German Spitz. He's about 20 pounds.
Okay. And where is he? What town? In case it helps.
He's in Illinois.
Okay.
Sorry, what was your first name?
My first name is Gina.
Gina. Okay. Okay, Gina, the first thing I want to tell you is from the moment you stepped on, started speaking, the biggest presence of energy stepped in. And Erik says, these are your guides. These are the energies that you are working with, and you have quite a crew with you. It is very intense, and Fritz feels every single bit of it.
Oh.
Feels it, sees it.
Oh, that makes
tuned
sense.
right into it. So Fritz is actually works with you. So is it energy work that you're, it has to be energy work that you're doing. Erik says it is. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I'm doing I'm trying to do a lot of past life stuff to get rid of a lot of like, what's it called when there's like all that fear in your cells from past lives that just keeps like accumulating.
Right.
You've got your higher self. So Fritz can see the energy of your higher self. And when you are working spiritually, when you're working through the energy realms, it gets very, very big, because what Erik is showing me is like, it's like your auric field expands. It gets absolutely huge. And there are a lot of different beings and guides that are connected into your auric field. And Erik says, when you're working in different realms, keep in mind, he says, your consciousness, like time's not linear. So your consciousness is going back to all of these different places in time, and the energies that you're connecting with, Fritz is feeling them and or seeing them.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So can you tell that?
Can I help him to calm?
Yeah, can you tell the beings to kind of pull in their energy a little bit?
Yes. So
what about tourmaline or some crystal under his bed or anything like that that could sort of help?
You can do that, but Erik says, honestly, the best thing to do is just clear with a little bit of Palo Santo before you start, and just clear the room, because he says it's a bit of a buildup of energy as well, or like where you're doing your energy work. And is your bedroom, is that where Fritz having most of the problem? Erik's showing me the bed.
No, actually, I mean, he does notice stuff there. 90 seconds. When my son gets up from like the table in the kitchen and walks towards either the bathroom or something, he gets very agitated, and it's really weird.
Is there a negative entity that needs to be cleared through scalar work, or?
They're not negative entities, but actually your son carries a lot of like thought energy. And not all his, like other people's. So Palo Santo, Erik says, do some cleaning. Do some.
I like to sage first to clean it, and then Palo Santo to get rid of the negative afterwards.
Yeah. So sage first. Doesn't matter if is it white sage that?
Yeah, I like white sage. Yeah, and you can use the spray. You can use spray. You don't have to use the. Yeah.
And Erik said also, and he's actually showing a great big dial, and that's what he always shows me, is take a big dial and like turn that dial down. And I call it my spirit guide dial. So if things are too intense, I'm like, all right, let's turn her down.
Break her down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Give that a try. That,
Thank
but
you
Fritz,
so much.
Fritz
I
is your healing
appreciate all of you.
companion. So
That's
good luck with things.
awesome.
Yeah.
10
All right,
seconds.
thank you. 10 seconds to go. And
you.
thank you very much for listening. Watch for it to become YouTube. Check out Michelle Gray in the description box. I love you all. Love you, Erik. Bye.
Love you, Mom.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
See you later.
See ya.
You were awesome. Bye.
You. Bye, you too.